Welcome to Fashion Show Reaction with facial recognition, where we react to fashion show videos, but with a twist, we apply facial recognition technology so that we can identify the models.
For our 10th episode, we are going to react to Tony Ward's Fall and Winter Couture collection for 2024.
Are you ready? Here we go.
Other than some odd nods to the Statue of Liberty, this collection has some great dresses. And many of the models wear 3 different looks, so the show has a kind of old-school feel. Plus, this is a special video for me.
That's right. Instead of working together to choose a best look of the video and an honorable mention, you picked all by yourself.
It's about time. And as a matter of fact, this green look is my honorable mention.
The bad news is that we have 7 models in this show that neither the computer nor we humans could identify. This was less on the computer, but on us not being able to feed it sufficient training data. For what it is worth, this next look was my honorable mention look of the show. Even though the asymmetric cutout was popular this season, this look is great.
Stop trying to steal my thunder. Oh no. Here comes our second Statue of Liberty look already. But then we take the off-ramp to Couture Town with this sexy, flowing piece followed by a traditional strapless gown. Unlike many of the shows we have covered this season, this show features only 25 models. As always, if you know the identity of any of the unknown models, please let us know in the comments.
At least this version of the Statue of Liberty is wearing a better dress than the first 2. I like the exaggerated fallen strap on the left arm. And of course, like all the others in this fall 2024 couture season, there is quite a bit of play with transparency in this show. Note that on many of the gowns, a lot of the exposed skin is covered in a flesh-colored, transparent mesh or fabric as seen here on Wong.
Tony's team must have that fabric in a wide variety of skin tones.
I have to give a shout out here, as I love Maria's walk, which was a great match for this look with one leg exposed. Later then we'll cover her up and hide that great walk. And note that unlike many of the couturiers we have seen this season, Tony has the hem on this dress to a reasonable length so that Maria is not stepping on it or tripping. Unfortunately, as we have seen many times, the computer struggles mightily to recognize East Asian faces. Here, after fumbling for a bit, it identifies Christina, but then takes all kinds of wild stabs at trying to identify Cynthia.
Later on in the show, it does a better job identifying Cynthia. But here it makes a fool of itself.
This next look takes transparency to a level so high that at first you ask yourself if Anna has anything on underneath. But it looks like Tony's team are masters at matching flesh tones.
I think it is just that you look a little harder than most people trying to see if you can see anything.
Touché.
Don't let this more modern take on Lady Liberty fool you. Later we will see the statue in human form.
And of course, you cannot have a proper couture show without an appearance by Lulu. This American is all over European fashion.
Ooh, here Patricia presents us with some very couture handwork with beading. We are going to let the video run a bit so you can see how the models had to walk a gravel runway outdoors as part of their lap.
We have now gone from the old school handwork on Patricia's first dress to a glamorous Wookiee costume.
Well, hold on. It gets a lot better closer to the ground.
I will admit that in the full shot, and from a distance, this is not bad at all. And since Disney owns Star Wars now, if you did not like that, you can sign up for this Disney princess gown.
And your friend the fairy could join you at the ball with this look. All it is missing is a wand for granting wishes. These crazy structure forms that keep you from going through doorways just do not do it for me.
When you call an Uber when wearing this, do you have to request a van so you can fit? Wait a second, honey. Here is your personally chosen best look of the show.
We are starting to loop back through models now as they change looks. I am not sure what is on Amelie's head, but at least it is not Lady Liberty's tiara. And while this handwork is not my favorite, at least these textures make you feel like you are getting something special for your couture money.
Oh my goodness. Putting Vika with her narrow hips in a trouser suit is a stroke of genius.
Fantastic look.
With some bling added to feed the couture monkey. And speaking of bling, I think Tony and Ellie Saab shopped at the same place, as the metallic detailing on this skirt looks very familiar. Tony is swinging pretty wildly here. This is straight out of the 40s.
Have to say it is fresher than the Chanel we saw in episode 8.
Just the color alone modernizes it. Hey, wait a minute. Earlier we praised Tony's team for their skin tone color matching. Then we get this visible undergarment.
And here is what we promised was coming. The actual Statue of Liberty herself, tiara, folded fabric and all.
Although it must be summertime in NYC, as she has peeled some clothes off to get cool.
Hopefully everyone knows by now we are not fans of feathers, but the color of this outfit is just so serene that I like it. And this next look is also a really great color.
I would welcome a new Aston Martin Vantage in that color.
But there is nothing wrong with black, and we are getting on a roll here with this solid dress. Note how the bodice moves with her.
She is not a person moving around inside a stiff bodice. Here we go back to the fabric with the metallic accents like we saw in our episode 1 for the Ellie Saab show.
I like it here with these really interesting colors. And here comes a super device to give the piece some movement and interest. So much classier than some blow-up toys stuck on your leg.
This is like op art. It is mesmerizing. Remember we said that later they would bundle Maria up and hide that walk of hers? Well, here you go. They stuck her in a pencil skirt.
But I have to say, this neckline is really good. You get a lot of drama, but you can fit in a regular Uber. And again we see the computer struggle. But at least this fabric is really great. Such a couture feel. And the little cape does not take away from it. I bet this is a big seller in the collection.
And as we mentioned, even though we are not big fans of this look, the computer does a little better with Cynthia this time around. Okay, not only do they send Toby out with a mini tiara, but what exactly is this?
Kind of looks like a fluffy version of a piece that was in the Dior show.
It needs to go back into the water. Oh no, why did they make Lulu wear this? Please make it go away.
I cannot figure out when Tony decides to use the transparent, flesh-colored mesh. For some of the looks you expect it, but it is not there.
Lady Liberty never looked this good. Speaking of color,
I wasn't.
here comes the red section of the show. And then Tony throws in a black dress to make me look like a fool.
Not that hard to do. What do you think of the yin-yang division here?
It is clumsy.
It looks even worse when she gets outside. Can you believe Tony came up with a dress that made Jane's backside look big?
Impossible, but true. Hold on. Here comes what I would have picked as my best look of the show.
That is just because you are such a Genya fan.
She really needs to be a Bond girl in the next film.
Then we have Amelie in a dress that makes you hear guitars and wait for her to break out in some flamenco.
We make fun, but it is a really nice dress. Maybe it has a pocket for your castanets.
You can see they can allow the bodice to move as they have the chest pieces held together with a modesty panel, which is a technique we see on some of the other dresses with similar necklines. Oops, this is a real clunker of a neck. After seeing Vika in that pale blue pantsuit, this is disappointing. Note the widespread use of the flesh-colored, transparent mesh here.
Morticia Adams has entered the chat.
This is a nicely done piece with a sleek silhouette, but then the stiffness of that asymmetric shoulder piece is odd once you realize it is out in front of her, not over her shoulder.
But then we get back to no. Is that a leopard print and a feather boa? Please say no.
Let's forget that penultimate look and wrap this up with a wedding dress, which features a tiara that is more Medusa than Lady Liberty. Now we will see what the computer can catch on the brief parade. Fortunately, we even ID Tony himself at the very end.
Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed applying facial recognition software to a fashion show.
Bye now.
See you next episode.